Well, howdy, everybody. I am later than the motherfucker. I kid you not. I kid you not, man. God damn. It was, boy, I have not had a problem like that. Yo, you try to be more technically, technically, you know what I mean? You try to get up on your technical shit, and yo, I kid you not, man. Oh my God. I'm just like, what am I doing wrong here? It's so crazy. It's so crazy. But anyway, we lit. We are lit. Yo, I got actually a pretty good show for everybody tonight. Um, Again, I apologize for being late. The technical difficulties were crazy, but I got a good show. I got something good. I know a lot of people ain't really catch on, and I ain't really been wilding with it yet. But as soon as I get some free time for tax season start, it's going down Charlie Brown. That's for real, for real. I'll tell you that. It's so crazy. I poured a cup of coffee, or I made some coffee, and I ain't even drink it yet. Alright, so I need to get to this other page so I can share it. There we go. I know they live. Nah, what's going on? Yeah, there we go. Now I can share it from here to all my people. Let's get crazy. Yeah, let's get let's get crazy on here. Invite everybody in the goddamn world. Cause I really hope that you people see some of the stuff that I got planned on today. Um, Cause I'm about to go crazy with it. You know what I mean? I'm about to go crazy with it. All right. All right. So tonight, I am talking about why people are disillusioned with American government. Hold on, let me stir my coffee. Also, let me share this on some other social media platforms real quick. Let me get this video live on what you call this on Facebook. Let me share this Facebook. Now I got the most followers on Facebook, and I have the least people who watch my videos, which is crazy. Anika, what's going on? How you been? I know I've been meaning to reach out to you for a long time, but Lord have mercy. Actually, there's some people in here I need to hit up. Boom, 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 boom. So yeah, tonight, um, I'm gonna ask everybody a question who's watching this right now. I'm trying to wait until I get. Let me untackle from here. I'm trying to wait until I get some more people on here. But how many people of those whom are watching actually how can I say this? How many people actually voted in local elections in the past X amount of years? You name it. I want to know how many people have. Oh, this is the best way to do it. I don't know why I've never done this before. Um, I want to know how many people have actually voted in a local election. That question is going to be really important. As I transcend the video or transcend, I don't know. I don't know the word. I don't know the word. All right, so let me just take another sip of this coffee. Um, all right, so we got that popping. We got this popping. Let me see if anybody watching on Instagram because I gotta Oh, maybe I could do it this way. Hold on. Oh, I'm bugging. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. You know what? It is what it is. Anyway, we here. We lit. Oh, is my camera on? My camera's on. I didn't even know that. How about that? All right, so I'm on here. We're talking about politics. I wanted to know if anybody ever voted in a local election. The reason why I asked that question is because anybody who knows anything about politics will know that we put too much emphasis on the general election and the presidential elections in those general elections. And those elections are almost popularity contests, proven by how Trump won. Right? Even though he didn't win the popular vote, the only reason why he was on the ballot is because he was a popular person. So, that's the thing. That being said, one of the things I also look to when it comes to politics and why people aren't really into it is that, frankly speaking, people don't know enough about it. It can be complicated, although it's really not complicated, but it can be complicated. And there's not enough civics classes taught in school. And I'm gonna keep it real with you. That's by design. That's absolutely by design. I'm not gonna hold you. It's absolutely by design. And it's unfortunate that that's a thing, but I get it. It's a thing for a reason. They don't want us to know what's going on. They don't want us to know how it's going on. They don't want us to know the things um, that would make it easier for us to understand what's going on in the world. That's not something that they care for us to know. And listen, what they say, what you used to say about black people, we want to hide something from a black person, put it in the book. I don't think that's totally untrue, especially when you teach people that they can't read. So, in any case, that's something that I've definitely noticed in the past. Um, that we just don't know. We don't have enough. We don't know enough about civics classes. We don't know enough about um, economic policy or economics. Period. Like people still don't know really about filing their taxes and how to even do a W-4 form the right way. So why would we expect anybody to know about politics, right? And um, so hold on. Let me just say this, right? I got into politics when I got out the Matrix. But I really never had any fascination for it until I say maybe the past 8 years or so. And a lot of that had to do with what was happening, maybe even 10 years. But a lot of that had to do with me trying to understand what was going on in the market for taxes and accounting and insurance and industries that I'm in, because what happened in those industries is often determined by what happens in elections. So it behooved me to actually know a little bit more about what was going on than I had originally cared for. You learn about the conspiracy theory here and there, but I wasn't really into like, yo, let me actually understand what's going on with this policy or whatever the case may be, right? All right, so let's get to it. Why Americans hate politics. So actually, I'm going to try to find this thing real quick. Um, and this study is going to be about uh, I think it's about Congress. Hold on, let me see. Congress. Let me see. Um, I see so many different things here. 20 years of data reveals that Congress doesn't care what you think. Study. Congress doesn't really care what you think. Um, okay, let's see. Corruption is legal in America. Oh, we're gonna get to that in a minute. Oh man, I hate when they do these damn pop-ups and stuff like that. This is why we need a Jamie on here. All right, so there's so many advertisements on this page. It's ridiculous. They gotta pay their bills, right? All right, so let's redo this article together for the first time. All right, so I'm gonna pull this up really quick. All right, let's do this. This together, okay? And we're going to start here with says, your opinion really doesn't matter, okay? And basically, it's saying the study from nearly 2,000 public opinion surveys and compared what the people wanted to what the government actually did. What they found out was extremely unsettling. The opinions of the bottom 90% of income earners in America has essentially no impact at all. I'm going to repeat that. The opinions of the bottom 90% of all income earners, which is basically everybody who makes about $125,000 and less, they have no impact on the government. To put it another way, and I'll just quote the Princeton study. So this was a study done by Princeton. I think the study was done maybe like 6 to 10 years ago. And then that study, what they did was they said, all right, let's look at all of the national opinions on these major things. And it went over 2,000 different public opinion surveys. And those 2,000 public opinion surveys were about major issues in the country. And they realized that not one of them, or let me not say that, I'm being extreme, but very, very few of them actually mattered in Congress. This is a fact. Your government is bought and paid for. So, now really think about that for a second. If you ever feel like your opinion doesn't matter and the government doesn't really care what you think, well, you're right. Now let's go over that really quick about what's going on right now. They're trying to give $750 to people who were affected by the hurricane that hit in North Carolina. They've given out so much money to Israel in the past few years that it equates to $3,500 per person in Israel since I think this war started in Gaza on October the 7th. People in America are like, yo, stop giving money there, fix here. They don't do it because they don't care about you. They don't care about what you think. They don't care, bro. They don't care. And you're seeing it in this document right here. Now, I don't actually have the study. I don't want to really waste your time trying to research the study and go through it. It's actually a long study. Now, I read part of it, but it was years ago. It says if there's one thing that is still reliable, what did I say? If there's one thing that is still reliably gets politicians' attention, it's money. While the opinions of the bottom 90% of income earners in America have statistically non-significant impact, Gillians and Page found that the economic elites, business interests, and people who can afford lobbyists still carry major influence. So whenever you hear any president or any politician say we need to protect America's interests, they're not talking about you. They're not talking about things that will benefit you. You're not in the interest of America. Let me tell you, I learned that about 17, 18 years ago. And let me tell you, I was all for Obama. He was saying all the right things and doing all the right things. And he was black. And he had the swag. And I was like, oh, I'm voting for him. It's over. And then he went on a Bill Riley interview. And they were talking about the Middle East. And what was happening under George Bush, and he gave some real political answer, which I expected from a politician. But then he said, "But our number one concern is we have to protect America's interests," and that right there is a dog whistle to the middle industrial. I'm saying that wrong. To the military industrial complex. And when I heard him say that, I fell out of favor with him, and then he wound up being everything I thought he was. After that. Everything I thought he was after that, he was that. What 50 said, or whatever they said about that nigga, he did that shit. Now, and the effed up part about Obama, is that he was still the best president in my lifetime, and he wasn't a good president. At least not my opinion of what a good president is. So, one of the things that I was going to talk about on here was something that this is about to bring up. But I did want to say that I believe it's not always. So I don't always believe that we should be listening to the people, right? Because if we were always to listen to the people, listen, in the South, the racists would have won. Just a fact. Just a fact. If we were to listen to what all the people thought at all times, the racists would have won. That's just a fact. That just is what it is. I can't stress that enough. I don't trust people on an individual basis. I do trust people in groups. I don't trust groupthink, but I trust people's intuition. And a lot of the time, let me not say, I think I said that wrong. I trust how people think individually together. I don't trust the group because there's a group think. So when you have a group think, people start to think about one thing, and I'm like, I ain't with it. Because now everybody just believes so because they're just going along with it. But when people, it's time to protect their family, it's time to protect their loved ones, it should affect their pocket, and they're going to think about that individually. And then what you see in those trends is usually what people really feel, right? And that's something that I am a big proponent of. Is listening to people and what they think and they call individually. I don't want to talk to people in the group. It's like that one tough guy in the group. You know he can't fight, but he tough because he with everybody else. But if you see him one on one, he gonna walk right past you, son. He gonna walk right past you. We know them guys. I don't trust people in the group. I do trust people, however, to tell you what it is that they think about their immediate needs, and then you can kind of get an assessment of that. So I also feel like that's why I believe in electoral college, because we can definitely elect somebody who could do some bullshit. And you look at him like, oh, hell no, we're not electing this person. He said he's going to lynch the firstborn son of everybody. And the next thing you know, he out here lynching niggas. Now, the electoral college people say, listen, I understand y'all voted for him, but we can't let him be president. He's saying something wild. Y'all wilding if y'all think he's going to be president. So I believe in safeguards. And guess what? The people who founded the country were like, yeah, people can sometimes have mob mentality. Let's make sure we have buffers so we don't re-elect the king. That's why they created the electoral college, because they said, yo, listen, the king of England might come in here and run for president. And he president now. That might be a thing. That's also why they said you can't be from another country and run for president. Like, these are real things, yo. And that's why they did it. All right, so boom. Here's the bad thing about that. I do believe in those buffers because I think people group think those are bad things. I, however, believe that the government in all its power has lost the moral high ground to hold those positions of authority. I don't know if they ever earned it from us, but, and I literally just heard a video before I got on with you guys that said, yo, the government trust has gone down since 1964. What happened in 1963? They shot the fucking president. They came out with the Warren Commission a year after, and nobody believes the government ever since. It's been worse, worse, and worse, and worse, and worse. And we're at the lowest ever of people believing in the government. I don't know what else to say behind that. Now think about this as well. 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 As I'm trying to go to Instagram real quick to see what's popping over there. Right? So think about this at the same time. Right? Think about this at the same time. There are no, how can I say this? All right, I'm gonna start over. Let me say something else. This is almost like practice because nobody be watching, so it's so dope. And I'm saying this for all the people who are watching later. But all right, so let's get back to this article. They say why? Follow the money. Why? Because purchasing political influence is 100% legal, which means bribery is legal. That politics should be taken out of money. And here's the thing: the thing that I wrote down was is that we all know that it's rigged. So if we all know that the system is rigged, and that people, no one believes that we're judged by the same set of rules, and the Supreme Court just kind of codified that. Think about that. The Supreme Court just said whatever president do, he can't go to jail for. This nigga got a get out of jail free card. He could wow the fuck out for 4 to 8 years, and it's like, oh, he can't go to jail for that shit because he was acting as the president. Bro, they never was going to jail for that shit to begin with. Think about that. They were never going to jail for stuff like that. And I tell people all the time, everything that they accuse Donald Trump of and try to prosecute them for is something that he only did. There's real crimes that Donald Trump committed. They are not going to prosecute him for that because they all do the same corruption. They all do the same murder. They all do the same unilateral wars and sanctions, and you name it. You name it. So, for example, let's say big banks want a law that could force taxpayers to bail them out again if they repeat the exact same reckless behavior that crashed the global economy in 2008. It is perfectly legal for our bank to hire a team of lobbyists whose entire job is to make sure that the government gives the bank what it wants. And then those lobbyists can track down members of Congress who regulate the banks and help raise a ton of money for their re-election campaigns. It is perfectly legal for those lobbyists to offer those same politicians $1 million jobs at their lobbying firms, or hire them to do $500,000 speeches at colleges or at their institutes, or they actually work on the board of the actual companies. This is a thing. This is a revolving door. A revolving door, and it never goes away. It never goes away. And I'll just be looking at this shit like, yo, you cannot be serious, dog. How do we keep doing this? How does this keep happening? Well, it's going to keep happening. So we know that it's rigged, right? And that is what it is. Like I said, the Supreme Justice just codified it for presidents, saying like, listen, at the end of the day now, it's going to be what it is. The president can do whatever he wants, right? But he was already doing whatever he wants. They did that now and blame Trump. But Trump was in office when they made that decision. Oh, because they're conservative presidents. Yeah, well, Obama could have stopped them from being conservative presidents. We could talk about that another day, though. Also, guess what? People are getting tired of the lesser of two evils. Like, can we try to elect someone who isn't evil? I'm just saying. Maybe we could get somebody who just isn't evil. Maybe we could just elect somebody who actually gives a fuck, actually cares. And I say all the time, that's a lot of the reason why Trump was elected. Because Trump made people feel like they care. He cared. But we're not going to get into that right now. So let's get back to it. Yes, can we stop having a lesser of two evils? I don't want to try to elect somebody who's even a little bit evil. Like, and I feel like the people who say, well, it's always the lesser of two evils, and you subscribe to that, and you vote with that, knowing that in your conscience you're voting of lesser of two evil because one of them is evil, you're part. You are the problem. You are the reason why we can't move forward. You are the reason why we can't move along. You are the reason why we are where we are, which is in an effed up situation. Because at the end of the day, you're gonna look at it like if everybody who said, "Well, it's the lesser of two evils," and they didn't vote for any evil at all, then guess what? We would have better candidates. They keep putting shit out there because we keep accepting shit. So it's your fault. People look at me like I'm stupid. So you're not going to vote for any of them? No! I don't vote for evil. Even if it's the lesser of the two. I can't condone that. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. Another reason why people are tired of politics is because we know that they're all phony. And they don't really care about us. They just don't. And that's something that we continue to accept. Like I was saying before, Trump, and the reason why he was elected is because people feel like he cared about their concerns. That's all people really want. And at least Trump make people feel nice. The Democrats don't give a like they don't care. They look at you like, oh yeah, I'm going to appeal to you so you can like me. Oh, don't ask me about the stuff that you want. I'm not doing that shit. I am not going to help black people. What Obama said, rise the tide, this all ships. What Kamala said, I'm not doing anything specific for black people. What? 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 Nah, I'm not with it. I'm not with it. Mm-mm. And I know that they're phony. I know that the politicians are phony. Every time Hillary goes to a black, she goes to the Breakfast Club and pulls out hot sauce. That shit was cringe to me. Everybody was like, "Yo, she got hot sauce." Bill Clinton, her husband, goes on Arsenio Hall and plays the saxophone, say he smoke a little bit of weed. Everybody, ah. I was a kid. I didn't know no better. You can't appeal to me like that. It's not happening. You're not gonna put on blackface and political blackface to try to get up in the cookout so we can get you to vote for us. Fuck out of here. Remember that thing that Joe Biden did when he went to the people's house to eat fried chicken? He went to the fast food spot to eat fried chicken. He didn't even buy him healthy food. Man, it's so cringy, yo. Yo, it makes me so mad, fam. It makes me so mad. It makes me so mad. And we know that they don't care. I don't think anybody said about Kamala Harris, yo, she really cares about the people. Nobody said about Joe Biden, yo, he really cares about the people. I bring that up because at least with Trump, people felt like he cared. He didn't. He still helped out his cronies. He still cut taxes for the rich. He did a bunch of bullshit. But people felt like he cared. And let me tell you, sometimes it don't matter if she actually had an orgasm. But if you felt like she did and she told you were the best, it's ladies same way. Sometimes he tell you you're pretty. When you got on sweats or whatever, girl, you're the best thing I've ever seen in my life. It makes you feel good. Yo, ego getting stroked will make you vote. Democrats don't care. They feel like they got your vote in the bag, so don't fuck your ego. No circus jerks around here. Another reason, there's never actually a plan for black people. The only time there's a plan, the only person that has a plan for black people specifically, I think Cornel West has one, but it's really Jill Stein. Jill Stein is the only person that really is like, nah, I got a plan for black people. We might not actually get reparations, but we're gonna put it to a vote. Nobody's saying that. Nobody else is saying that. Yo, we're gonna put it to a vote. Nobody's saying let's put it to a vote. Why? What was Hillary's stance on reparations? Vote for Hillary. What was Obama's stance on reparations? Oh my God, he was the best. What's Kamala's stance on reparations? Let me tell you, Hillary's not really black. Obama doesn't have anybody descended from American slavery. Kamala doesn't have anybody that's descended from American slavery. That's not an issue that they give a fuck about. Never forget that shit. Never forget that. I listen. Let's go. You know what? I might even bring that up in the next conversation. So, also what I don't like and what people don't like is that they always have people that run into interference. There's always somebody. You come up with a good idea and you black, or a good idea to help black people, or a good idea to help the economy, or a good idea to reform the Fed, or a good idea to stop the military industrial complex. Why is there always somebody black that's interfering in that? Help me figure that part out. There's always somebody black that's like, nah, you shouldn't do that. Reparations ain't shit. What? Hold on. Why? When the white person tells me about reparations, I look at them and I say, have a good day, sir. I'm not having a conversation with you about reparations. Get out of here. Conversation between me and the government. Also, I don't believe reparations should come out of the tax people money. It should come from corporate taxes. The same corporate taxes, the same businesses that went crazy because of slavery. All them insurance companies, all them banks, all those transportation. What? Nah, y'all gotta pay up. Mm-hmm. 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 That's how I feel about it. So anyway, I'm gonna play some videos of this dude named Butch Ware. Butch Ware is running. He is in the Green Party, and Butch Ware is our the vice presidential candidate for the Green Party. But I f with him. Like I like some of the stuff that he says. I appreciate that he's the person that I appreciate the voice that he's been getting since um he's been going, strong with the this presidential campaign. I definitely appreciate the voice that he's been getting. So I'm gonna play some things that he says because he can definitely speak a lot more. Or excuse me, he can articulate a lot better than me, especially after I've been up since 5 in the morning. But we're gonna get this done. We're gonna listen to some things that he got to say, and yeah, let's talk about it. I'm gonna comment on it in between. Let's do it.
Essentially the same. There's more Arabs in Michigan. Sorry, with respect to black
Let me back this up a little bit so you can get a good.
difficult to land actual attacks on us, right? So their attack was very weak, but it was also very clearly coordinated. And the reason why it was happening was something that I brought to the campaign as soon as I got onto the campaign, because 20 years of community building, relationship building in the Muslim community. One of the first meetings that I took was with Dalia Mugahed, who was the senior researcher at the Institute for Social Policy and Understanding in DC, and she came in with the following numbers. I knew this the week that I was on the campaign, literally the third day that I was on the campaign. The states of Georgia, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, okay, are demographically essentially the same. There's more Arabs in Michigan. Sorry, with respect to black population and Muslim population. There's more Arabs in Michigan, but a lot of them are Christians. So if you're just thinking about things in terms of Muslims and black folks, very similar demographics. Okay, so in the states of Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Georgia, Joe Biden got 65% of the vote in 2020. And he cannot win any of those three swing states without every last one of those votes. Those are very narrow.
65% of the Muslim vote?
The Muslim vote, sorry, yes, thank you for specifying. 65% of the Muslim vote in all of three of these states. By January 2024, he was polling at 12% in those places. And 12,
Wow.
From 65 to 12. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, dead man walking. They know that they can't win the election. And by the way, that when those numbers came, the Green Party wasn't tapped into those numbers. I brought those networks on. That, by the way, is right when Jamie Harrison made the first run at Jill. Is that they're realizing that they are in trouble and they have to do something. So when I came onto the ticket, that becomes multiplied exponentially. Their problem is now that instead of the people falling for the uncommitted okey doke, which is really just a way of getting people that should be voting third party to not vote at all, and that Democratic leadership was actually responsible for sponsoring the uncommitted movement to kind of keep the third party momentum from gathering. Now a lot of people in the Muslim community see like even more reason to be jumping on Jill Stein's campaign. So that's the reason for the coordinated attack, because their polling then started to even go worse than that. So Council of American Islamic Relations about 3 weeks ago showed Jill and Kamala running 29%, 29%. This is after nationwide. This is right after I come on the ticket. Then less than a week later, we're ahead in Wisconsin and Arizona in polling in the Muslim community. Now, hasn't been released yet. Yaqeen Institute out of Texas, their most recent polling says that 53% of the Muslim community nationwide is going third party, with 80% of that coming to the Green Party, 15% support for Kamala, 4% for Trump. So it's fascinating because they know what I knew. They can't win. And everybody is saying you're throwing your vote away voting green, you're throwing your vote away voting blue. They are dead already. They're a zombie, dead man walking. And if you vote green instead, you are actually consolidating power in a viable third party option that can then leverage against both Team Blue and Team Red.
So I want to stop right there, and I hope you guys got all of that. And basically, what he's saying is that at the end of it all, what happens is they run interference. The Democrats do. The Democrats run interference. They do all the shenanigans and all the games, and they do a lot of that because what they want to do is, excuse me, what they want to do is that they want to make sure that they don't have people running against them. But one of the things that I realized. I'm sorry, I had music playing. One of the things that I realized is that one of the things that he was saying is that, yeah, all that aside, if we can all kind of consolidate power, if we all create our little faction, but we all get into one section and say, all right, now we have some leverage because nobody else is doing what we want to do. As I said with the articles that I talked about earlier, and all the other reasons why people just don't care. They're like, oh no, you go now, you gotta care. Now you have to care. Don't get me wrong. I do believe that if we did something like that, they have something up their sleeve. But at least we look at it now like, now you have to care. You have to listen to us because now we're going to take such a significant, we think it's like a majority. No, it could be 15%. If we got 15% of people, not just black people, but 15% of people to coalesce under one idea and consolidate our leverage under one hat, they have to listen to us. And it could be minor issues. It could be, get reparations on the ballot. Stop sending money to these wars. It could be any of those things. And they have to listen to us because if not, we vote for somebody else, they won't get in office. So I just feel like that's something that we don't leverage enough in out here. But anyway, I'm gonna let the video keep playing, so I can get some other points. Let's do it.
So I told the people inside the campaign, listen, y'all can keep punching down at the Democrats if you want. I'm punching at the Republicans instead. The Democrats are already dead. I'm not beating a dead horse. I'm coming for the Bernie Trump voters, and I'm coming for the Trump voters because I think that, to be perfectly honest, the narrative that has emerged that all Trump voters are inveterate racists is a Democrat talking point that is like nonsense. The truth is that Trump himself is a pure racist and white supremacist. He's shown that throughout his career. And the true racists and white supremacists do all, run in for the Trump talk. But the overwhelming majority of Trump supporters, in my neighborhood, in my community, blacks for Trump, Latins for Trump, are not inveterate racists. Neither are many of the white folks that support him and Asian voters and others. It's just that they actually see no moral difference between blue criminals and red criminals. And all other things being equal, they'd rather pay less in their personal income tax.
And that's it right there, right? All things being equal, they would rather pay less money in their income tax. And sometimes, Lord have mercy, and sometimes that's just be what it is. Yo, they evil, they corrupt, and I'm just gonna pick the lesser of the two evils, which I said, you're the reason. If that's your strategy, then you're the reason why we ain't shit. As a nation, I'm blaming you for the whole country's woes. Absolutely, I am. Where's the here we go. Okay, so with that being said, I also look at what's funny? I'm probably one of the minority black people from my area who I just don't believe that Trump is an inherent racist. I, however, believe that Trump is an elitist. I don't think that he cares about anything as it pertains to like anybody that is not going to empower him or make him different in any other way. Or excuse me, I say different, make him more whatever he already is, right? More rich, more powerful, whatever. I don't think that he's going to do anything outside of those interests. Like he's not a benevolent person. However, I just never felt like he was like that, like a racist. Like all the black friends that he ever had, all the black circles that he tried to be in, because he wanted to hang out with us, but he didn't want to hang out with me. He wanted to hang out with Mike Tyson and a movie star or whatever. Like people to go to his parties all the time. So, but with that being said, I don't think he's good for America. if you can't denounce David Duke, bro, like what like what? And I've seen that video. Listen, they lie on Trump all the time, but he still puts his foot in his mouth all the time. Be like, what the hell is wrong with you, bro? Like, damn. And they be giving him layups sometime too, just layups. Like, yo, nah, fam, I'm not with that. Like, I'm not with that, bro. But he just don't answer straight up. I would be like, damn, bro, you be fucking up. So anyway, um, but yeah, all things being equal, is like, all right, they fucked up. The Democrats, the Republicans are fucked up. I'm just gonna do what's best for me. And I feel like the average American looks at it that way. The average American is not talking about those other things. You know what I'm saying? Because that's like, you think about all the people in the swing states that abortion is still legal or whatever. Then the abortion issue doesn't matter to them. It's not going to matter to them. So they're gonna vote on something else. If it's a man, they're not voting on that issue. If it's about black issues, somebody white or Chinese is not voting on that issue. So there are very, not few, but there are not as many, but there are very, very powerful things that we need to coalesce on. And one of the things I want to talk about next week is like, yo, how do you know your politician's a real politician? Well, let's talk about the things that are most corrupt. So anyway, I'm gonna share my screen again, and we're gonna watch this some more of this video right quick. I just had to get past that commercial. The commercials be crazy. Commercials be crazy, dude. I'm like, yo, you can't. That is crazy. That was crazy. What we at? 42. I'm going. Oh man. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to it.
Other sorts of issues that sometimes animate folks during campaigns. Do you think we're right for like a dirty break, at least on a sort of religious, ethnic, cultural level, with the Democratic Party that will sustain? And also, I'd like to speak to the proportion of Muslim voters in America who are Black, and
Yeah.
what that means about some of these crosstabs and the way that Black voter support for Kamala Harris dipping might be related to these Muslim numbers.
Yeah, so let's go in reverse order. This is basically the biggest misconception. So in those numbers that I talked about before from Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Georgia, is there's like a kind of basic demographic fact that is concealed, because of the way the media represents things, which is that Black Muslims are still the single largest ethnic contingent in the American Muslim community, period, full stop. So when the Democrats think that they're going to survive by making an appeal to voters, they forget that there are lots of Black Muslims just like me. And to go back to the first part of the question, listen, I don't have to guess at this. I've heard this literally hundreds of times, directly in person, in comments, on social media posts. These are people that will never, ever vote for a Democrat again, ever, at any point in their life, ever, never, ever. And the reason is the same reason, is that will a Jew ever vote for the Nazis?
Mm.
It's never going to happen. They're dead. They're done. They are going the way of the Whigs. They cannot survive what they have done to themselves. That party is going to be in shambles, broken and shattered in November. There is no surviving what their hands have wrought. And as I said on Democracy Now! With Amy Goodman, anyone that tries to shield them from accountability for the evil that they themselves have done is complicit in the evil. You are the silencer at the end of their gun. So all of these people,
The lesser of two evils, people. That's exactly what I'm talking about right there. Them lesser of two evils. Like, you are the problem. You are. So I had a debate with somebody really close to me, and I was like, "Yo, that Israel thing. If you're not on my side with that, I can't see another way. It's just right and wrong. There is no. So if you decide to vote somebody who has their stance on that, then you're essentially voting for that. And Trump is all the way with the genocide that's happening out there. I'm not with it. I'm not with it. You can't just you can't yo. This makes me so upset. You can't be a Christian and vote for somebody who's okay with babies dying on a regular basis, yo. You can't be okay with that. You can't be a Christian and say, I can look the other way. I'm not even a Christian, bro. You can't be a Christian and tell me I can vote for Kamala Harris and have dissidence to what's happening out there that they're complicit in. They're giving them the weapons to do it. We have to give them the weapons to protect ourselves. America's presence in the area is enough for somebody to be like, I gotta relax. And we put a platoon of people over there and say, y'all gotta chill. We're not gonna give them no weapons, but we're gonna be in all these areas. So now if you attack, you're attacking us. But we're not giving them nothing to do. That could be the end of it right there. But instead of having that as a solution, it's like more war, more war, more war, more war. And the thing that kills me about that is like, why does everybody who have the biggest voice be with the shits when it comes to war and all the devastation that we have on Earth? Help me figure this out. There is no middle ground for me. There is no middle ground for me. There is no, but she's good on, what the hell is Kamala good on politically? Oh, but she wants to give us money for starting a business, which really doesn't make sense because she wants to give you a tax break for a business that's a startup and you didn't even file taxes to start the business. Wait a minute. I didn't even file the taxes yet. I get a $50,000 tax credit. How many people know how to apply that? What does that mean? That means if you made $100,000, you might get a $50,000 tax credit. What does that imply? Who the hell knows? Now, I'm not about to get into the weeds of that. Whatever she does good politically cannot surmount the things that is happening in the Middle East right now. It can't, not to me. Make it make sense, bro. How can you be a Christian and rock out with that? Can't do it. Can't do it. Let's play this video. I'm going to get more mad.
In mainstream media, they're going to be remembered the way that the Vichy regime is remembered in France. They are going to be remembered as collaborating with Nazis, except it is worse because we are actually the ones driving the genocide. This is our weapons, our policy. This is American imperialism being laundered through Israel so that it can have an anti-Semitic tag sticking to it, and it doesn't stick to the emperor who's stark naked. And the emperor that's stark naked is Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Team Blue, Team Red, all the same genociders. In this election, yeah, go ahead. We actually have an opportunity to consolidate power. And this goes back to your first part of your question. Kwame Ture said people usually mobilize around issues. That's what happened after the Floyd murder. And that's why we've ended up with more murders by police in every year since. And the Democrats have expanded the reach of the carceral state, now running a crooked cop at the top of their ticket and Black folks applauding for another generation of carceral enslavement, okay? Because people mobilize around issues. Kwame Ture said that revolutionaries.
Isn't it so frustrating that you can understand French, you know all the conjugations and grammar rules,
organize against systems? And my own analysis is that usually mobilize around issues. That's what happened after the Floyd murder, and that's why we've ended up with more murders by police in every year since. And the Democrats have expanded the reach of the carceral state, now running a crooked cop at the top of their ticket and Black folks applauding for another generation of carceral enslavement, okay? Because people mobilize around issues. Kwame Ture said that revolutionaries organize against systems. And my own analysis is that every single successful revolutionary movement, and by the way, revolutionary movements are not always about guns, right? And a lot of the people in the radical left seem to forget that revolutions are often actually accomplished through ordinary political means, electoral and organizing means. Every single successful modern revolution has political party organizing at the core of it.
The reason why I think that part is really important is because I feel like it's basically a lot of what I was saying, man. We got to get to the point where we can get to coming together to organize. We have to stop getting to the point where everything is just so fractured and splintered. We have to unify. Again, we could just pick, first of all, with black people, we don't need to agree on everything. We have to come up with 4 or 5, even 3 to 5 important things that we all agree on and work around those issues. That's it. No, you're right. You want to talk about this? You want to talk about gay rights? You want to talk about that reform and this and then the business? All right. If that's one of the 5 issues, then that's what we do. If that's not one of the 5 issues, then you go about it yourself to do that. But together, we work on these 5 issues, and that's it. Or we work on these 3 issues, and that's it. And we come together as a block and say, "You listen. If you're not hitting these 3 to 5 issues, we can't, as a group, as the 14 or 15% of the country that we are, we cannot vote for you in mass." Anyway, let's watch a little bit more of this video, and I give a few final thoughts, and after that, I'm gonna head out. Niggas is hungry. All right, let's do it.
Brianna, is imagine if Bernie had run as a Green instead
Well,
instead of laying down in front of the Democratic establishment. We could be in a very, very different place by now.
or at least have done a dirty break.
Exactly.
To demonstrate the failures of the Democratic Party, say I'm leaving because they treated me this way. Yeah.
Well, and let's just be clear about what that would actually look like in practice, right? So a simple thing like just reaching the 5% threshold in the national popular vote in this electoral cycle will guarantee the Green Party electoral ballot access across the country and also $10 million in federal funding. Now, we've spent half of our campaign resources just getting electoral access. So what if Bernie had done that? What if Bernie had actually established a viable third-party alternative? What would be the positionality now of that kind of movement? Well, that's what we can build into the future. If Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin can hold up an entire progressive agenda by themselves, then what can a third party, an independent third party driven by people that are actually concerned with freedom, what can they do to shape the American environment? And that's exactly what the Democrats are afraid of. And that's exactly why they've been trying to sue to keep us off the ballot. The good part for us is that they never saw a brother like me coming. If they had, if they knew what I know,
if you're happy and
I have to get the premium joint because these commercials are out of control. Word. Commercials are crazy.
and you know it, clap your hands.
then they never, like they.
All right, let me rewind this again a little bit. I do want to finish this. Yeah, I might have to get this real soon. This what you call it, joint? Free joint. But anyway, let's do it. Let's get to it.
And that's exactly why they've been trying to sue to keep us off the ballot. The good part for us is that they never saw a brother like me coming. If they had, if they knew what I know, then they never, like they would have had, Jill Stein, she never would have been able to find my number. But it's too late. Now that I'm in this fight, you're going to have to peel the battle armor off of me. We are going to keep going until we give the American people a viable alternative, because these two corporate murderous parties ain't it.
Dr. Butch Ware, thank you so much for joining us here today. Tell
And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, you already see it. We hate these parties. We keep picking the lesser of two evils. It's time for us to just, hey man, even if we just come together to say, yo, listen, man, we want a new party. We could come together on that. It gotta be on something. So anyway, those is my 2 cents. I thank everybody for watching. I think for everybody who's going to watch, and all that other stuff. And I think we're on to something. I think we're on to something. Let's make this work, ladies and gentlemen. Let's centralize and let's mobilize and let's get popping. Anyway, I look forward. Next week, I'll be back. We're doing this to the election day. We're doing this to election day. Let's get it. Yeah. In stream.